Hey everybody, this is Talkative Carl back again for another episode of Deadliest Warrior, Mongul versus the Commanche. The second and last episode. This is another watch along. So if you want to watch along with me, you can find this episode on Amazon Prime, and it's fairly cheap, like at least $1.99 if you want to purchase the episode. But yeah, is one of the uh uh excuse me mm, uh, it's like mid-tier favorites of mine, not like top tier but mid-tier. I gotta say the low tier would be like uh Ming Warrior versus the Musketeer, which is the episode I just wrapped up, and it should be on my YouTube channel currently if you want to check out my thoughts on the episode. uh yeah um yeah, I'm already got this thing booted up to zero, so ready to go ahead and watch along. And hope you let me know in the comments below if you really like this episode, or if it's your least favorite or mid tier. Follow me on my various channels on the links in the description. That's youtube.com/talkativecarl, patreon.com/talkativecarl. You can follow me on my Twitter as Talkative Carl again, and watch all my video game walkthroughs on my twitch.tv/Talkative Carl. And yeah, please subscribe. Been a couple of new subscribers that came up on the weekend while I was gone, so thank you all for doing that. And yeah, let me go ahead and get situated here. Soon, hopefully, I'll get a place of my own, so that way I can do my commentaries and what I haven't to like. Well, I'll be done with the whole live commentaries, because this is the only live commentary I'll be doing, unless you guys want me to do so. Make that suggestion in my Patreon. I'll make it a Patreon exclusive type of thing, and I'll definitely do that. But after the Deadliest Warrior watch alongs are completed, I won't be doing anything like that again, unless it's a Patreon uh, paid exclusive request. So get ready to press play. I always mess that up. Get ready to press play when I say now. In 3, 2, 1, now. What like I ever knew prior to this episode? What I ever knew about like the Mongols is whatever you know I have known about Genghis Khan, uh, because that was their leader. But we're looking at the individual warriors, so it's a little some more in-depth information. I definitely learned a lot about the Comanches from this episode. Excuse me. They're both more are like the best well-known archers and horseback riders in history. I never ridden a horse before. It'd be interesting to try to fire a bow and arrow while on horseback. From what I heard, is not easy. Even for those who have been doing it for years, it's not an easy thing to you know, hit a target on point while on horseback when the horse is like bouncing you up and down. It's a very hard to, I won't say hard, but it's like it's distracting to see like the guy with like he's barely have any teeth in his mouth as he's talking. I believe the young Comanche expert knew one of the other experts from uh, the Apache of one of the Apache experts from the Apache versus Gladiator episode. I do like if you notice when they show like the day to day life of each warrior, just like the camera lighting, it I appreciate the camera lighting to like this whole greenish shade for the Mongols, uh, representing kind of their like colors, while like the brownish yellowish gold for the Comanches, representing uh it's just kind of like I don't know how to put it. It's kind of emphasizing their territory, or at least like their uh just to differentiate themselves. Just the lighting, is like a nice touch. I do love his war cry. His war cries are supposed to get you pumped. I think that was my favorite one. From all the episodes in this series, what was your favorite war cry? That is so pathetic. Like, dude, if I was, saw him, or if I was his expert partner, I was like, dude, don't waste like a thin leather hide and call it armor when you're dealing with like a 12-inch blade. That was like a teacher t-shirt. I can't believe he had like the cojones to just like throw this little leather thing that he calls armor. And it's like, here, well, we have armor. Throw something. It's so confident with it too. And it's like, 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 fine, you want to test it, let's test it. But it's like, honestly, maybe it's good for a slashy, but it's like, that kind of thing. Even when we will eventually get around to it with Genghis Khan or Chengiz Khan, he has like a better set of like armor than his subordinates. But they should have like what he should have done is toss him like your traditional like at least armor that his leader wore, because it's laminated like armor with riveted metal like plate and what have you. That might block some of the hit and might not he still might get a kill, but at least offer at least some resistance. Yes. I mean, it's like this, like kind of a disadvantage if one pole arm is effective on and off horseback, while the other is only effective off horseback. It's like a slight disadvantage. For the longest time, the buffalo was considered like a very, you know, what do you call it, the a very scarce animal, and it was like hunted to near extinction. I'm not sure like where that stance is now, as far as like you know, have they repopulated at this point? No, the arrow on arrow test, that is like, it's probably the best testing of bow and arrows, at least arrows in general from this show. Just like two well-known warriors that were experts in firing the bow and arrow, and see who is skilled, over the other. And like that, and like it was literally one of my favorite tests. I really want to go back to the archery range. I love firing the bow and arrow. I want to own my personal bow and arrow, but it's just like the bow itself is like, from what I've been told, is like ranges between $200 to $300. It's like, wow. Not that I can't save up for it, but it's just like, wow, that's like that takes a lot out. That takes a chunk of change out of your bank account. A compound bow. One day in the future, I want to own my own personal compound bow. So the Comanche has a faster uh, arrow compared to the Mongols. So that's interesting to know. You're trying to get a war cry going. Ooh, hey! That's cool. You have the Mongols name under the red, while Comanche is under the blue. It probably should have been the other way around, but whatever. Yeah, 20 seconds. Because, like, they both, in the end, got 4 kills out of, all their shots. But, the Comanches were slightly faster. So it's just like just the number difference was the key factor. It's like that is just like maybe it's also a factor that, well, I was about to say maybe it's a factor because Comanches have been doing, learning since they were infants how to fire a bow and arrow, while the Mongols might not have been taught that long, but still pretty young. Probably in their preteens, maybe they started learning how to utilize a bow and arrow. Possibly. Like, get him away. I'm about to do some sick stuff. That's an impressive knife, handiwork. What really got me is when he's like, right through the belly and his blood is spilling right out. Death by a thousand cuts. Next is the head bashes. It kind of reminds me of the animated movie Mulan. At the beginning where he's like, you got two survivor soldiers, and they leave them to go tell the horrific tale of what they did, and then you hear from the leaders like, who's supposed to be like I guess a Chinggis Khan, but not Chinggis Khan. It's like how many? He asked one of the soldiers, "How many men does it take to deliver a message?" And then you got like one of his subordinates like one, and then pulls back a arrow and fires it. Oof, just giblets. Oh my god, I like that part. It's just like so hype. It's like you just get that energy. It's like yeah, ah! Man, that was just like hype, man. Yeah, that mace was impressive. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, I like the concept of the scalping knife, but you're literally bringing like a knife to a sword fight. Okay, day of truth has arrived. Let's do this. He dodging those arrows pretty doggone good. Don't pick up your sword or anything. So it's a fairly even matchup. Yeah, I mean it's one of those closest matchups throughout the series. It's like just the managed to get in the hundreds, but except for the scalping knife, but uh but because they just managed to just the Comanches managed to just get slightly more kills with the Warlands and the bow and arrow over the Mongols, won out in the test. I mean, it's like just by a little bit, and it's one of those unique matchups. It's like, oh my god, it's like these two are so good at their craft, doing almost the exact same thing, and it's like one has to beat it. It's one of those kind of moments where it comes down to like the numbers, like just a little bit more of the edge of the other. It would just the numbers game, just a slight difference can make all the difference in the world. But what do you guys think? Uh, Leave a comment below. Let me know. Well, did you like this episode? Or if you didn't like it, tell me why. Uh, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff to Talkative Carl. Follow the links in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And in a few minutes, I'll be getting towards the last episode of season 2 of Deadliest Warrior, the Navy SEALs versus the Israeli Commandos. And I will see you guys soon. And yeah, this has been a fun episode. I love this episode. And yeah, take care. I'll see you guys in a minute.